Hi, my name is Sheena, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ari-G Designs Academy. And today we're going to talk about how to offset in Cricut Design Space. And before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure your design space is up to date. You may need to update it to see the offset icon. If you do not see it, just check the system requirements and make sure it lines up with yours. Also, the offset icon is only available on the desktop app, so Windows and Mac computers, yes, but not on Android or Apple devices. So let's get started. The offset feature creates a proportionally larger or smaller layer of your design. This feature can be used with both text and images. The offset is typically used to create an outline or shadow around your design. This is mainly helpful when you are making cake toppers or shirt designs, even custom stickers, and that's what I use it for, custom stickers, and so much more. It's also helpful if you have like an ultra thin line, say in a text, that is definitely hard to cut and it won't cut through, and like you kind of just like a little scrape thing and it's just like nothing, there's nothing. That'll also help thicken up the lines, the thin lines around that text if needed, or image. So the offset feature, it also works with print and cut designs as well as regular cut designs, okay? So print and cut designs and regular cut designs. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go to images. And then let's get a image. Let's do animals. And what should we do? What should we do? A flower? Select this one with the hummingbird and add it to our canvas. All right, so now we have our image here, and I don't know if you see these multiple layers on this side right here. All right, so what we're gonna do, so since it's so many layers, go ahead and just highlight the whole thing. And then here's our offset. We're gonna do offset. And then you're gonna use the slider for your distance, how far you want it from the image, or you can enter it manually right here. So if your image was not, it didn't have multiple layers and it was just a single layer, you would not see this weld offset option at all. So weld offset is when you have multiple layers in an image that you want them to have their own individual layer. So I just unchecked, and I don't know if you can see those little tiny lines that just appeared in between. So what I'll do is I'll show you with the text, because text is the best one to show you with. So I'm going to put that back on, check it back, weld offsets. We just want one offset, one backing layer. We're going to go ahead and apply that. And then we can change the color if you kind of want to see it a little bit better. There we go. It kind of blends in with the beak. Let's do, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you guys can see that. There we go. I used red and you can kind of see the outline of it. And when we created that offset, it came over as a basic cut. So with the offset, it has to be a basic cut in order to see contour. And the purpose for contour is if you want to cut this out and you don't want this space in between here, I'm going to go ahead and circle that. We don't want that to cut out that space, that empty space right there when it's being cut. You're going to select contour, make sure you're on offset, and then select contour. And select the spaces where you don't want the opening. So here, 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 and then it will fill in with the red because that's the color of my offset background, red. If you don't want to select there, you can just do it here individually. Or where it says hide all, you can do hide all and hit the X. And now everything is filled in. There's no opening. And then you would go ahead and cut that. So now in regards to cutting, if you weren't doing a sticker and you didn't want it to just be one image, you would go ahead and just do make and it would cut each part individually. But now if you want a sticker, you would have to highlight all of this, select everything, or you can come over here and hold the shift key and just select every part. So highlighting is definitely easier. And then flatten. So when you flatten, it becomes one image, becomes a print, then cut file. So it will print, and then it'll just cut out around the border. Just so you can see. Oh, too large. Let's go down in size. All right, and then make it. And there you go. There goes your image for your sticker, if you need to make a sticker. Okay. Now we're going to do it with text, where I can also demonstrate the whole weld offset. So I want to do one in cursive, but I'll do that after, and I just want to do a regular print. Over here, plain text. Let's choose the plain text. That's fine. All right, so let's start off with this one. Select your hello, and then do offset. And same thing, use your slider to do the distance. Obviously, if you do it like this, where nothing is touching, and it's gonna cut just like this with the spacing in between each individual letter. I don't want that. So I'm gonna go a little bit to the point where they're touching. And when I say touching, you have to make sure you see like there's like no line blocking them. So it's touching like this. All right. And now before I select apply, where it says weld offset, what I was telling you earlier with the hummingbird image, I'm gonna uncheck that and you'll see that each one becomes individual again. Okay, so if you want it to be cut individual for each individual letter, uncheck weld offsets, but I don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and do apply. So you see the space here. If we don't want that, remember it has to be a basic cut, and then you do contour, and I'm just gonna do hide all. So any openings it's gonna hide. So when it cuts, it won't cut those little holes out. Okay. I'm gonna change the color just so you can see it better. Now, say for instance, you did not want to go through the whole contour thing. You can do offset and then just make it a little bit larger. And that will fill it in. But then you have to be okay with obviously the distance and the outline of the image. So if you're okay with that, you can also do it that way as well. And then once again, same thing with text, flatten the image. That way you can print it as a sticker. Or if you want to cut them separately and then this is going to be the backing layer, the orange, then you can do it that way as well. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make a pattern in the background as well if you needed to. I'll show you on the image as well. So you want to select your offset and then go to print, then cut. And now you can go back here to your color and where it says print type, from color, select pattern, and you can choose patterns. Any pattern you want to fill in around that image. Okay, and then the same thing, I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And I'm going to unflatten just so I can show you, and then find that offset from the hummingbird. It's a print then cut already, it turned into that. So now I'm just going to go down to pattern and select a pattern. So you can do the same thing. It's pretty cool, right? So there you have that. Now cursive, if it's in script. Let's go ahead and unhide that. So when I was mentioning before, if the lines were like super thin, so this is a perfect example. Sometimes it will be hard for the machine to cut this part right here properly. Let me go ahead and circle like these parts. Sometimes they can be ultra thin. Sometimes they're even thinner, okay? So if I wanted to go ahead and kind of thicken up the lines a bit, I would do offset. And then use my slider. So there you go. I'm gonna go hit apply. And then you just wanna make sure it's gonna be the same color. That way when you print it, everything is blending in and now you have a thicker font. So I'm gonna hide the offset just so you can see the thin to the thicker. Okay, same font, but I just made it thicker. And that's how you would do that to thicken up the thin lines in your image, text, font design. All right, so that's pretty much the basics of using offset in Cricut Design Space. I wanna say thank you for coming and joining me on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe to get more notifications when new videos are coming out. Thank you again. Have a good one. Bye.